Yes, yes. The boys are back. You see when I didn't hit my mark, B? He just kept firing
You
it
just
off.
this is a quick one though. Hey yo,
He
this
He
wasn't.
is
dove right in,
we
head first.
He fucking started fucking aiming those fucking fingers at me. No puff.
Whoa.
Things were smoking.
They were. As soon as I didn't start, I started getting fired at. No diddy.
Bing
You're
bing.
listening to Knock 'em Out the Box, episode 132.
132 en SAP.
My name is Vinny Paz. I'm here with my co-host, with the co-most of Mr. Majestic Left, Right, Left Kid, Mr. Brendan Long.
What up, what up, what up? What
Doing
up?
his, doing his Stevie Wonder
That's it.
impression.
I'm bobbing and weaving.
You are.
I was I almost getting finger banged by Billy.
Oh my God. There you go. Also with us is Billy Betts, aka Bill Yuns, aka Billy Bindlesticks. I don't know
Yo,
what he is this
Bill
week.
Bill Young's with a hard Z on the end of it
Yeah.
is
You like that?
hmm hmm
yeah, it's very early 2000s Southern
hmm
rap.
hmm hmm
Bill Young's.
Bill, what went on this weekend? Do we have things to discuss when it's time for
For the most part, I got more tied up with family shit and yeah,
Mhm.
didn't have nothing going on. But Friday night, I had a little
a little action?
extracurriculars.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll get into that. I wonder why this looked weird. I didn't fucking hit the right button. I didn't hit anything. I don't know what I'm doing, fellas. I just got in the house, you know what I'm saying?
We all dressed up. We all
Uh
looking fancy.
all right. As per usual, we'll start off with some news and notes. This first bit of news will eventually carry over into our reviews, but I did not know if B knew about this yet, so I'll set it off with the California State Athletic Commission is expected to convert Emmanuel Navarrete's controversial technical decision victory over Charlie Suarez to a no contest.
I didn't know that.
I don't know what's going on there.
Really?
I don't know what's going on there.
It's very difficult to see.
Okay. After multiple angles, multiple instant replays, multiple slow-mo angles, I don't know what the fuck happened.
You don't either?
No.
Me neither. I do know that the cut doesn't look like one that would result from a punch. The position of it doesn't look like one that would result from a punch. You know, usually it's like where like your eyebrow meets your orbit. You know, this was sort of like the middle of his temple, you know?
Does not look like a punch caused that to me.
But I can't
The
really see where the head hits it
It's
hard enough to cause it.
very weird that the
You think
supposed head clash.
he did the old razor blade in his gloves trick?
Um,
Did he cut himself? Is it wrestling?
yes, he bladed.
He bladed himself?
Yeah, he wanted color
That's what
for
it's
the
called.
rating, the Papa rating.
I forgot what it was called.
I look, we're
Really
gonna get
weird.
into it,
Really
but
weird.
that fight was fun.
Sure.
Navarrete is always fun. We'll get into that, but I didn't, I saw that they're expected to change it to a no contest, which I'm sure Navarrete is not happy about. At the
Who's
same time,
who's reporting that? Coppinger?
um, I actually don't remember.
Okay.
I actually don't remember, but it was multiple sources.
hmm
Um, all right. Manny Pacquiao is set to return to boxing this summer to challenge Mario Barrios for his WBC welterweight title in Las Vegas on July 19th. The Sebastian Fundora Tim Tszyu Jr. middleweight title rematch will serve as the chief support. I'm with that. I was I was
That's
I
wild.
I was and am iffy about a Pacquiao return, but if you throw a really nice co-main on there like that, I'm less critical. Now, if the rest of the undercard B is solid, then I'm like completely okay with it. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean?
hmm
Um, yeah, I don't know how long it's been since Pacquiao. I think it's been maybe 4 years since his last fight. Was it Thurman?
No, he fought Ugas. Remember?
Ugas was after Thurman, so I
Yeah.
don't remember when that was.
I'm looking right this second. Um, yeah. I mean, this is crazy. You think is he broke? Serious question.
I mean, we've been talking about this with the moves Floyd made. Floyd has been making lately. This morning, you sent me a picture of a Mayweather gym, and we were discussing whether or not he's
Yeah.
lending his names to this,
And he is.
and
His
he
picture his
is.
pictures on the oh yeah, so there's a Mayweather fitness gym. If you guys are hip to like title boxing, it's like these non-combat boxing gyms, title as the equipment company, the mail order equipment company title.
Yeah,
They have a gym chain. I believe it's like a franchise. You can buy into it and box at it.
There's one in
Floyd,
my town.
a title boxing,
okay.
right? Yeah. So Floyd, there I'm driving on Broadway in Hewlett, Long Island, part of the Five Towns. The famous Five Towns was like one of the first like suburbs. I'm driving. And I said, "Holy shit!" I'm actually texting Vin and I text nonstop, but I stopped and took a picture of it and sent it over to Vinny. And your response was, "What the fuck?" And I said, "All right, I guess he's lent his name to a franchise, so you can buy like equipment, go get a good cardio workout, hit the mitts,
Yeah,
hit the bag, I guess." And when I dug a little deeper, there is background is Floyd on their website. So I mean, who else would it be? Mayweather. You know what I really thought after like a
Hmm.
few seconds? I was like,
Is this Jeff out here?
no, I thought like maybe he never got his name properly copywritten and
Oh, someone just did it.
someone else boosted it and was like, yo, we're just gonna do a series of Mayweather, but no. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's so August will be 4 years since Manny fought Ugas.
Okay, so almost to the month, it'll be
Yeah.
4 years out of the ring, come back. Um, Look, it seems like we really like Mario Barrios on this show. And he's a solid pro, but Manny is not going to come back and fight Boots or even Brian Norman.
Mm.
Um, if
He's trying to pick the guy he thinks he can clip.
he thinks that he can beat, you know what I mean? And 4 years removed from a Ugas loss, I don't know. You know,
I would I
I'd be very disappointed in Mario Barrios if he
Me
doesn't
too.
show out. You know what I mean? And it will be good for him if he does show out for what's after that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like you gotta if you're Barrios, you gotta take it as an insult.
Absolutely.
That's how I'd be taking it. Like
On
this is
his
what
team
this
and corner, I'm like, you know why they picked you, right?
right.
There's
I'm
other
a
guys.
right. I'm a fucking champion. This is how they're gonna treat me? Nah, I'm gonna beat this old man up.
Yeah, and I'm not a made up organization champion either. I'm not a
Right.
new organization champion. I'm the guy at WBA. I'm the man.
My motivation for this fight would be 100% I'm insulted.
Agreed.
I'm disgusted
Agreed. That's how I would
with the
train if
thought of
I was
this.
him, and that's how I would train him as his trainer.
Correct.
Samson Lukowicz wants to make next year's headline fight on Cinco de Mayo featuring David Benavidez against the winner of Dmitry Bivol, Artur Beterbiev rubber match. I like that either way.
Okay.
I like that either way. I don't know that win, lose, or draw, Beterbiev continues. Um,
I think he retires like you think either way.
I think he retires either way. That's just my opinion. I tell you guys the truth when I hear from the camp because I know them. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
haven't heard that. If he fights till 45, I'll tell you guys. If that's you know what I mean, that's what I'm
Hmm.
told. But that's my opinion. No one's told me that. Here we go, B. Not getting any closer to these unification fights we want. Carlos Adames will fight mandatory challenger Myrim Nursultanov on a PBC card this summer. He's 20-0 with 11 KOs. Nursultanov hasn't fought since 2023. So he's been out 2 years, and he's the mandatory for Carlos Adames when we have a fractured division already. It's wild to me.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
I don't know why they're not trying to unify there with Alamhanala or Lara. Lara's doing the Vasil Lomachenko.
Yeah,
Like, bro, should have get off the pot.
right. Quit.
Following his war against Chris Eubank Jr. last month, Conor Benn has now entered the IBF's latest super welterweight rankings at number 5. So he's going to fight at 54 moving forward. Is that what?
I think he'll fight wherever the money is
So do I.
or wherever the fight is.
Another weird sanctioning body move there.
I would love to see if they could make that Boots fight. Because again, I thought they were setting that up when we were down there in November.
They're throwing so many names as the next Boots fight. I'm starting to get confused and don't know who to believe.
Right.
Apparently, everyone on that bad stinker of a card from Madison Square Garden is like
Times Square, you mean?
Times Square. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My apologies. I'm half asleep. Was up for the potential Boots Challenger suite.
And they all fucking bricked it.
Yeah. But Rolly is talking about fighting. Do you know what the destruction would be had there?
I'll take it.
I mean, we're gonna have to watch it in person. You'll take that. You'll take Rolly Boots in September in Philly.
Yeah.
All right.
Then we don't have to see Rolly anymore.
No, I'll be back again.
True.
Bob Arum hopes the Top Rank will finalize its new broadcast agreement in the coming weeks. With that, I saw something else that indicated they're going to go with 3 networks, and it's going to functionally be with 3 different networks at the same time.
Isn't this what Bob said like a year ago?
Yeah. And then after this, I saw 3 networks and many more fights. That was from him. So here we go, B. After
does it say the networks?
No, neither one that I saw. This bit of news and that bit of news. So we just know they're leaving ESPN.
And then
The Zone and what? HBO Max? Do they bring something there?
And Amazon. So it'll be Amazon and
The Zone and
BLK Prime. Triller.
Conor Benn has told The Ring that a fight with current Ring Magazine title holder Jaron Boots Ennis can be made.
All right.
So, I mean, we know that Eddie can make that, but he's got to get down to 54 unless Boots wants to vacate.
You mean 47? He'll get down to 47.
47.
I think he can make it. Young guy, 28.
Yeah.
I say do it. Let's make that fight.
Fighting at 47, wasn't he? Or no?
Yeah.
At those 2 bad comeback fights. Well, we thought he looked like shit in Florida.
I don't know. I just want to see Boots fly his head.
Yeah, but if he fought twice, if he fought now with Eubank 3 times over 147, can he go back down, even though he's 28
I think
old?
he can. I think he can.
I do too, but he looked jacked at whatever he came in at, 159?
He fought Peter Dobson at, those are all, the last fight he's had at 47 was 3 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna fully say I don't know then. I'm backing off, saying he can make it. He's 28. I'm fully backing off, and he just fought a super middle. Top Rank executive Carl Moretti tells The Ring he's unsure if Vasily Lomachenko will fight again. The IBF previously told The Ring that Lomachenko has until October 8th to make a defense of his lightweight title, and the sanctioning body is set to order him to fight the winner of Morataya Zawar Abdullayev on August 8th if he still remains uncommitted. That fight happened. We'll discuss it. So he is to fight the winner of that fight on August 8th, or I guess he gets stripped of the IBF.
Okay.
Which, in the grand scheme of things, you and I believe that in Loma's mind, wherever he's at now, California, the Ukraine, is I want 10 million to fight Tank or I'm out of here. I don't think he cares if he has an IBF belt going into it, but Tank might or does. So that's,
Yeah.
But then again, he'll get stripped of it regardless for not fighting as mandatory. So
yeah.
Maybe it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Go
ahead.
Let's get into this.
You want to get back into this in the next episode? Or no, you want to just go ahead.
I think he should hang it up. I think if you're at this point, I don't want to see him fight beyond his years. I think he already fought beyond his weight. I hate to see that his last fight is Kambosos.
I think he fought beyond his weight for half of his career.
I concur.
And did so much better than anyone
Right.
maybe has ever done, being that far past, you know.
Yeah.
This is a guy
So
who made 130 easy.
I have a feeling we're going to see like comebacks like this, save for the man who just passed away, George Foreman. And not that Loma by any means is retired for 10 years, but if you got one foot out the door, it's just a bad look, you know? Um,
His 1 foot out the door is a strange one to me. Is it doing this since you're a child type reaction to everything?
he's 36?
Mm-hmm. Turning 37 or already did because him and
Vinny,
Bud are the same age.
that's old
I know, man.
for a guy who fights like him,
I know. For
right?
that style, a busy
Right.
style, okay. If you fight this William Skull can probably fight till 60.
Oh no. Don't tell me that. I hope he doesn't fight past tomorrow. If you call
Agreed.
it fighting. Um, he plays tag.
He
Um,
does.
oh man. I don't think we see him again. I think he's gonna quit.
I'm 50-50 right now as of recording the
Billy,
show.
you know what we should do?
Hmm.
Can we get some uns?
Can
Billy?
Bill Yuns get some odds on does no hang him
Yeah.
up? I'll come back.
Bill, is there a place that you could find? Oh, I thought Billy was sleeping.
He is.
Yeah.
No,
He's sleep producing.
He's sleep producing.
I'm the best at that.
What? Yeah, you are. What room are you in, Billy?
It's like
Den?
my foyer,
Uh-huh.
What part
like
of
where
the
you walk
castle are you
in.
in?
That's what I mean. But it looks like a poltergeist
That's
when
like
you
my
get
front
him.
door behind me.
That's what I thought.
What'd you
And
say?
there's steps. Remember, we're either Billy's way too young. Brendo, were you a fan of the young ones?
The rappers?
The British comedy show.
I never saw it.
It's like four college students sharing a crib
I never
in
seen it.
the early 80s.
What channel is that on?
It was on BBC there, and then MTV ran it here when they needed programming. So the hippie that lives there, Neil's like, guys, I think there's a poltergeist.
If you see something like walk down the steps behind me, you guys gotta like warn me.
I don't know that I will because I'll
That's
be out because it can get me through computer now. I've learned that from the pictures.
Through the camera.
That's what I mean.
It's like
They'll
the
get
ring.
me. They'll get right. They'll get me too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mr. Long,
mm-hmm.
Callum Smith could face Anthony Yard in Riyadh this summer as part of the Matchroom versus Queensberry 5 versus 5 style event in Saudi. And I'm actually not mad at that,
No, I'll take it. I thought,
because
yeah, I thought Callum Smith was gonna get, but I'll take it. I
who
think,
did you think Callum Smith was going to get? Because if it's better, then who did you think? Benavidez?
I did think that he was gonna get Benavidez. Yeah, I thought they were gonna make that fight. Excuse me. Hmm.
I mean, there's not many guys there, so they gotta to make good fights, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking at the ratings now.
Okay.
Um, I thought he was gonna get Benavidez, or he was gonna get Morel, but I guess this is where they'll go with Yard. It's a good domestic fight.
Yeah.
I think he wins that one. Um,
Yard isn't good.
huh?
Anthony Yard.
No, he's average.
Yeah.
He's a good like mid-tier guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's a bottom top 10 guy.
yeah.
Um, okay, so let's get into this past weekend. Saturday afternoon, the zone, Nottingham Arena, Nottingham, UK. Anthony, the Apache, Cacace versus
Who the Patty Paisan?
Lethal Lee Wood, IBO super featherweight title. How about this, B? They're like, he's Nabaladan, this Cacace. There
Is
was
he?
people, yeah, there's people from Italy, from Naples there at the fight, and then the people from where he's from in
Now, did he emigrate or he was born in Northern Ireland, but has just got
I think his parents emigrated.
okay, cool.
Look,
I d-
so
I watched this soundless.
okay, Anthony Cacace is not a puncher. Um, I said he was gonna get Lee Wood out of here. I don't remember if I picked late round stoppage or Cacace by decision.
I thought Lee Wood was going to stop him, so I was totally off.
Correct. You picked Lee Wood. I picked Cacace, but I forget if I said, yo, he doesn't have power. So B, what we're seeing right now,
I just put
and
it together. Kakachi the Apache.
yeah, look, when guys that aren't super young start
Getting
knocking people out all of a sudden,
you get a
you and I
little.
have a little
Well, this really wasn't a knockout, was it? Like this was like
no,
a
but hey, it's two in a row. I'm not saying anything about any wrongdoing. I'm saying we got to keep the same energy.
yeah.
We do it with anybody. Kakache, not a puncher, wasn't a puncher at smaller weight classes. Sometimes that means you were killing yourself and you can find your power,
But
find your man strength. Kakache, look, man, he looked big, strong. This guy is shredded because he's a gym rat. I said, this fucking Lee Wood's in trouble. And that fucking broccoli hand, though.
Lee Woods also never met a punch he didn't love to catch
He
with his
didn't
fist.
like to, right. He
I mean, he ducks into right into punches. I'll say this: Kakache, he switch hits, which I don't like. He crosses his feet. I can see why he, kind of took a while to get going. I mean, he's only got one loss, right,
yeah,
Kakachi?
yeah.
Um, this is guys. This is like as I was watching this, I was saying to myself, this is like decent B level talent. You know what I mean? Like we're not watching.
I disagree. Go ahead.
Okay. Um, like I said, the other things I pointed out fundamentally, Kakachi does a lot of things wrong that I see. And again, against a guy like Lee Wood, I guess it's a good opponent because his defense is suspect at best. Um, I don't think that these are like top flight guys.
Anthony Cacace's top flight.
I disagree. I think
Throws that nice short 1-2. That little short left hook he throws is pretty. Um, look, it would look kind of like a dominant type round
Mhm.
for Apache. Lee Wood would crack him with a double jab right hand. Kakachi Swift to southpaw, which you don't like, and landed a big uppercut. I'm going to talk about someone who did it because you and I both don't like switching unless you're a haggler or uh, um,
Yeah,
Bud Crawford.
Terrence
That
Crawford. Yeah,
level of if you're haggler and
I mean, of
Bud
course,
the
there's guys. Yeah, there's guys that can do it, but
No, I agree.
yeah,
I happen to agree with you. I think that switching is something that goes underneath our little sidebar that we bring up of people trying to show that they're athletic rather than this is an intellectual approach to how I'm fighting this person.
I'm looking now at this division, right?
Well, I'm going to get into that. I'm going to
Okay.
get into that. So can you hold your thought while you're looking at it? Because
Yeah.
I'll just rip this off because then we can go at it because we're going to argue definitely.
Hmm.
So, yeah, big uppercut when he switched. I think he's really good. You think they're B level tier? Would you like watching them, but just don't think
Yeah.
they're high level. Lee Wood actually didn't look 36 in there to me. He still fights the same way. What I mean, when he was in his prime, he blocked punches with his face. So that
Hmm.
doesn't make me say, oh, he looked old.
Yeah, he's a legit tough guy. I
Yeah.
mean,
Kakache started putting on a clinic in the sixth. Lee Wood hurt and dropped in the ninth. Cacace pours it on, throwing vicious uppercuts, had Wood on Queer Street. Um, he goes down by falling into the ropes,
falling into the ropes.
which is a knockdown. It's a good call by the
Correct.
ref in an
Yeah.
era where we don't see that often. Um, gives him a count. He's still wobbly. Cacace pours it on. Woods team runs up on to the canvas, throws in the towel.
Ben
Um,
Davison.
yes, Ben Davidson was a really good coach. I thought it was brilliant stuff from the Apache. And here's what we get. I think he's a problem for anyone at 130, and I mean anyone. He packs up O'Shaquie Foster. He gives Ray Ford all kinds of trouble. He beats someone like Robson Conceição. I'd love to see Cacace Emmanuel Navarrete, and the winner is the guy at 130, regardless of whoever has a trinket right now, because I know they're out there.
Mhm.
To me, I don't think anyone can hang with him at 130. Now, if your response to me is, hey, I agree, because I think everyone at 130 is B tier,
That was what I was getting at.
then we
Yeah.
disagree but agree.
Yeah.
So we're in
I
agreement of
think that
disagreement.
it's a real doo-doo division right now.
Right,
And
right. But we both really like Ray Ford. Would you pick a
yeah,
catcher to beat Ray
no,
Ford?
I picked Ray Ford to beat him. I don't think I think, but to your point, he's a big, long guy. Hey yo. Um
He is.
and he's a tough matchup due to he's awkward. Um I just don't I can't really I kind of
What
think
did he do in an impressive win that made you like him less now than before? I'm not trying to argue.
I don't think that Lee Wood had much left. I think that I also don't think Lee Wood's that good. Lee Wood made his
You
name.
also picked him,
I picked him, right. And I think because I thought Anthony Cacace is worse.
but
And I was wrong.
we were when we were bigging him up after he beat your guy.
My guy, Joe
It
Cordina.
is your guy. Stop
Yeah.
the madness. That's your guy.
hmm Joe Cordina is my guy. Another
Yeah, that's your
British
man.
Italian guy.
What are they doing to us? Tell you this
Well,
Apache had to step up
so
to the plate.
Joe Cordina was undefeated at the time.
Billy, do you
He
love
was a betting
Apache
favorite.
Cacace because he's an Irish paisan, as
Uh,
are all three of your lovely children?
Apache Cacace.
Big
Apache
time pop.
Cacace.
So a
Um,
paisan with that talks like a leprechaun.
Nothing better.
Right. Nothing better.
I think I overrated Cordina based on his knockout of Kenichi Ogawa.
I have a question for you, Brendan.
Mhm.
Did he have a comeback fight since Cacace? Because one was made. Did it get canceled? I remember previewing it. He was moving up in
No,
weight.
no, he
That
lost
got
by
canceled.
yeah, he lost by TKO. Yes,
And
he
he
got
was on
hurt.
a Riyadh season card.
Yeah,
And
Cordina got hurt.
wasn't he gonna fight? Was he gonna fight Shakur? No. Forget it. Forget that.
Yes.
Is that who are the guy that does solar paneling filled in for?
Yeah, no.
Okay. I have a clear memory of him losing and coming back. And you were like, if he comes back, well, I, I'll say, all right, you lost to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I
No,
believe that Cordina fight, him coming back will show us where Kakachi is. Because if we're saying what we're saying right now, and there is no comparative measure.
Shakur Stevenson and Joe Cordina were supposed to fight October 12th. That fight got canceled.
And that's not the fight that the kid stepped in.
That was Stevenson got hurt. Canceled October bout with
Right.
Cordina.
And
So then
Cordina hasn't done anything since
no,
then.
they had to push Shakur to February because he broke his hand.
Is the
Got
Anthony
surgery.
Cacace is the Anthony
His
Cacace fight the last fight?
Yes.
What is that? 2003?
No. It was let's see. No, a year ago in
And is there any
in May.
is there any plans for this Joe Cordina of yours?
Not that I know of. I'm Googling him.
Yeah, it's all right. So he could be cooked.
I think he is. I think he had kind of mentioned, like, I don't, you know.
I think this Anthony Cacace is a fucking real problem at 30 in a division that's not very deep.
Yeah, because then Shakur was gonna infamously fight Floyd Schofield.
Yes.
Remember?
Yes.
And then he went
And
to the
then he
hospital
faked a weird disease and said someone poisoned me.
it was Shakur's masseuse.
Yes, they poisoned him. He shook his hand or something, or
Touched his chest
touched his chest. What a mess this sport is. Look, I pick Anthony Cacace against anyone at 130 right now. He's big and he's strong. He's found some power. I don't think it's concussive. I don't think it's a one-hit quitter. I don't think that he's John the Beast Mugabe at 130, but I think that he has power to do what he did to Lee Wood. He stopped the guy before that in a good fight, a good guy. I
But
think
you
Cacace.
think there's something weird there.
No, I'm
An eyebrow is raised.
No, I was just more asking you because we always raise an eyebrow when things like this happen. And I don't think Cacace is a dirty fighter. So I kind of wanted to ask you, do
I
you
don't
think
know.
a guy can fill out and get some pop?
At 36,
You
I don't
know?
know. Maybe just he's just fighting. He's gotten a little bit better, and he's fighting guys that
I
aren't
don't
that
think
good.
Anthony Cacace is 36. I think Lee Wood is 36.
How Anthony Cacace is 36 too.
He is?
Yeah. Let me see. 36. I looked it up the other night when I was watching the
You're
fight.
absolutely right. Yeah, 89, February 89. Okay, so whatever they want to do, they got
I
to get
hate that
that
that's
going.
36.
Me too. Me too. Me too. When
But
you
we're
hear
not old.
people's age and you go, "Oh, they're younger than me." Birth dates are starting to get like, yo, people are 25 years old that were born in 2000. But that is more crippling to me than anyone
Or
being
like when all right, so like you and I talk about music and it's usually my
all
bookmark
the time.
in age.
Yeah, same with me.
Right. So I was just thinking of like a commercial record that came out, MOP's Warriors, right?
Right. I was out of high
It's
school.
yeah, we were both at I was in it's dude, it's 25 fucking years old already.
Yeah,
That record came out in 2000. Um it bothers me because I'm like, oh, this is their new shit.
of course. Oh, that new blank record because it's post 2000. It's
Right.
not 90s, so it's post 2000. Oh,
It's
that's a
21
2000
years
in
old.
there. Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay. So moving on, guys. Saturday, ESPN, San Diego. Not the return, but he's back. Giovanni Santillan versus Angel Beltran, 18 and 2. Welterweights. Um, Giovanni Santillan looked shot to me. He was an undefeated fighter going
He
into that.
he beat Alexis Roca and
Yes,
he
yes.
then got the shit beaten out of him by
His
Brian Norman.
his record is a bit deceptive, and that beating he took from Brian Norman seemed to do something to him. In my opinion, it was a beat down. All three judges had this 97-93 for Giovanni Santillan. If you're not watching this sport the way you and I do, there is no asterisk to this. He did what he's supposed to do. He
Yeah.
beat a guy he's supposed to beat. I see something there when you talk about a guy
Seeing
seeing
shot.
shots
Now
and not
he's older than we thought, right?
a bit, but he's not old. But a bit, but
33.
but he's not old. Yeah, the Roca win, he was undefeated with 30 something, 30 win, like 30 and 0 or something going into the Norman fight.
Santiago's weird. He's American, right?
Yes.
And we never heard of him.
No. Which leads me to believe that they did the Devin Haney um in regards to that first 15, 20,
Yeah.
22, 24 fights.
Was it like bad promote? But then he gets a Roca fight,
Did
which
you say 33? Because you're exactly right. And he'll be 34 in December.
yeah. So he got the Roca fight, and
Oh,
I'm
he's got 35 fights, and we're not like
but I'm
really
saying,
into him
where did he
before
come
that.
from?
That's what I mean. I don't remember anything before Roca.
No, so did he just have a really good night against Roca, whoop his ass, and then they immediately throw him to a young Brian Norman, and Brian Norman whoops his ass?
I mean, bro, he turned pro in 2012, and we don't know who he is. And we know who everyone is. People go, what? Why do you guys know all these people? No one knows who they are. This is a 13-year pro. I mean, where were these fights taking place? You
I don't
know,
I don't know. Is it like small club cards in California? He's from California, right?
Ontario. There's an Ontario in Canada, right? I mean, in
Mhm.
California, correct?
Yes.
I know Ontario is in Canada. So in 2013, he's fighting in Ontario, Canada. Let me look at like 26, 15, 10 years ago. Doubletree Hotel in Ontario. All these fights are, all these fights, all these fights. Let's go up. He fought a kid named Eric Bone, no puff.
Eric Bonet. That's Algieri fought him. Eric Bonet is good.
I don't remember that. He beat him before Roca. I never heard of him before, Eric Bonet.
He's I think he's Colombian or Venezuelan.
Okay. I never knew the Bone. I thought Bonet was a Bonet. He
It's
beat Eric
it says an
Bonet.
accento on the E.
So he beats Eric Bonet, then gets Alexis Roca and knocks him out. That's enough for me to get a fight against a real guy, in my opinion. If you're saying Eric Bonet is good, after I said we
He's
know everybody,
Ecuadorian.
I never
My
heard of
bad.
him.
Not Venezuelan or Colombian. He's Ecuadorian.
Um, Prior to that, he fought Julio Luna Avila in San Diego. So he's basically all of these fights were in Cali, and then
Okay.
he got packed up by Brian Norman.
Uh-huh.
Uh, he beats up Frederick Lawson in a first round comeback fight. A few months later than that, then just came back and fought Angel Beltran. He looks shot to me. I don't want guys to be shot because I don't want them to get beat up.
Oh, he beat Antonio DeMarco
Yeah, DeMarco's like 40.
and way above his best weight. Where is this double tree in Ontario that has all these fights though?
I don't know. I didn't even know. I didn't even see that he beat
Right.
DeMarco. Raymond Morataya
It's a hell
versus
of a double tree.
yeah, it
You
is.
know,
Yeah, it is. Nice
Jesus
double tree.
Christ.
Maybe I stayed there.
That's what I'm saying.
Ray Morataya, 22-0, 17 KOs versus Zaur Abdulayev.
Go downstairs for the buffet in the morning and you see a fight breaks out.
And get those cookies they give you a double tree, the
Double,
chocolate
yeah, the
chips.
chocolate chip ones.
Zaur Abdulayev, 20-1, 12 KOs. His only loss was to Devin Haney, and that wasn't it was really freakish in that an orbital bone was broke. You know, you can't fight on with that. This is for an interim IBF lightweight title that Lomachenko has. There was a belt in the ring, which um real quick, B. I like Zaur Abdulayev, but how does the IBF have him ranked number two? S-
I don't know.
All
Yeah,
right.
I like him too, but come on, what are we doing here?
All right. So first thing I noticed when the bell rings is you're watching two guys that know what they're doing. So, Abdulayev throwing a nice stab jab downstairs, Mordecai feigning really well, looking to fire that right hand. Tim Bradley was talking about Ray Mordecai like he was a 1975 Roberto Duran and ignoring any good work Abdulayev was doing. And Mark Krieger had it 4-0 after four. I disagree with both of them.
Okay.
Zawad Abdullahi was doing some nice work in there. I had it 116, 112 Mordecai. Judges had it 118, 110, 119, 109. Look, we think Loma's retired unless a tank fight happens. So the other guys at 35 are Tank,
Uh-huh.
Keyshawn, and Shakur. I think Ray Mordecai is a notch below those guys. Be at
I
exactly
concur.
exactly like you were talking about Cacace and Lee Wood. What do you think? Yeah? He's
Yeah,
like one
I
level
think I
underneath
think
them.
he's a step below
Step
those guys.
below. Yeah.
Think those guys are
That by the
excellent.
guys, that's not a diss when we
No,
say things like that. And same for what B said about Kakache and Lee Wood. Even though I disagree about Kakache, I know what B means and I get it.
I'd like to see Morataya and Keyshawn.
I would too. And it would be easy to make.
Easy to make, right? Um,
Um,
yeah. Moratai's got some good wins now.
I think that's fun while it lasts. If it happened this weekend, I'd pick Keyshawn, but I'd pick it to be fun because you don't got to look for Keyshawn.
No.
And Raymond Mordecai likes that.
Yep. Yep. So I think that would be fun if they made that fight. That would be great.
I don't think in 132 episodes we've ever said this because we try to avoid cliches, but a few weeks in a row have proven it, guys. Styles make fights, and Mordecai and Keyshawn might make for what,
I
be
think it would make a
six,
great
seven
fight.
rounds of a lot of
Right.
fun.
Easy to make.
Yep,
Two undefeated guys.
yep,
Morataya deserves a shot.
yep,
He's done everything Top Ranks pretty much asked him to do.
yep.
Um, Go ahead, make the fucking fight already. Let's go.
I think you could make Mordecai Shakur too. I mean, I don't think anyone's beating Shakur. I think you could make
I
it. I
think the
know he left.
problem, yeah.
I know he left, but I think guys are still willing to
I'd
work
like to
together.
see it if they do it.
Well, only because of what you said, Brandon, a few episodes back when you told, you were talking to the listeners and saying, I think Dana White might have told this guy Turkey, back off a little bit with this, or these guys are going to start.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if that's
Yeah.
still the feeling that these guys aren't having that, they might be able to make more time.
Yeah.
But again, he's not fighting Tank. Let's get that out of there.
No,
I don't even know that Tank Lamont Roach rematch has ever been made official. I've heard nothing.
I,
I've seen pictures of both of them were in a gym. I've seen comments stating
I know
uh
they want to fight.
trading for the rematch, but there's been
Yeah.
no announcement. So I don't know what they're doing and why you wouldn't get two guys who aren't no spring chickens right back
Right.
in there to move on to
And they
better,
want to
bigger,
fight.
better things. I guess they do, but maybe someone doesn't. Tank. Um, okay, Emmanuel Navarrete, 39 and 2. 39 2 and 1, 32 KOs, whereas Charlie Suarez, 18 and 0, 10 KOs, WBO junior lightweight world title. This Charlie Suarez is like a Marine or something in the Filipino Marines.
Military.
Yeah. His amateur career was a bit more decorated than you and I thought
Okay.
when we spoke about him. Navarrete again, Brendan, killed himself to make weight. When he went up to fight Dennis Berenchek at lightweight, he had trouble. So saying to me, this is my opinion, saying just go up to 135 obviously isn't the answer, Brendan, for this
Yeah.
weight loss, weight cut thing. He would killed himself there.
Mm-hmm.
My guess is that he doesn't cut weight properly. There's a YouTube series we mentioned with our friend called The Fighting Life. Great stuff. Our friend Tommy Ray Known is featured in an episode of it.
Yeah.
And he talks and discusses how he was living outside of the ring, outside of the gym, and the way he went about making weight and his regrets, that he has for some fights, not all. There were times
Uh,
where
Check that out. The Fighting Life. That's Bobby Cassidy produces
it's
it.
really good, guys.
Really good.
It's shot really well.
Bobby's a great advocate for the sport. Real
Yeah.
quick, Long Island guy. His father was a fighter. Um, Check him out. The Fighting Life on YouTube.
Watch the
It's
Tommy Ray
excellent.
Known episode
Yeah.
first, but they're all good. But the fighting life, and Tommy talks about weight. He gets really in depth about cutting weight and proper ways and improper ways because he was managing himself his whole
Hmm.
career. He
Yeah.
talks about that and maybe what he would have been able to do if he had Algeria as a nutritionist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My guess is that the things Tommy said and how he was living, I don't know this to be a fact, so I don't want it to be slander, a libel. I just, all my Mexican homies love a nice cerveza, love some tacos.
Yeah.
His build is always flabby, no matter what weight. Emmanuel
Navarrete.
Navarrete has
Yeah.
never been shredded
No.
in 4 divisions or 3 divisions. He was flabby for this fight at
Yeah.
130, and he's very tall. So look, um, again, I just have the feeling that it's very similar to some stuff Tommy was saying. Okay, so anyway, Navarrete looks super slow and sluggish to me, but he's so awkward and unorthodox. He's still landing these big shots.
Yeah.
And he had Charlie Suarez, um, he had him hurt twice in the first round. When Navarrete stayed outside, which these guys never listen to us be, he stayed outside. Um, he was landing a big one too that couldn't miss. When Suarez got inside, a brawl would break out. Fun, fun, fun fight. I have no idea how Navarrete continues to kill himself, then perform like this. I know how
Right.
guys kill themselves, but then come out here like a maniac and perform like this. I don't. You're just waiting for him to run out of gas, B, and it doesn't
It
happen.
doesn't happen. Yeah. He's a marathon runner for sure. And
He
that
is. He
that
is.
is
He is.
always the I
He
mean,
is. You're
let's be
right.
honest.
You're right.
The before the Kenyans took over, who were the best marathoners were Mexicans.
Yeah.
They ran in the mountains, they trained in the mountains. I remember watching because we got a lot of it. When Juan Marquez really blew up,
Yeah.
in terms of being a star on his own
Yeah.
and not just a Pacquiao opponent.
Yep.
I remember the watching him the training videos
Mm-hmm.
of him running at high altitude and just like throwing rocks.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah, besides drinking urine, you're running at high
oh, remember
altitudes.
that?
Yeah, I do. I mean,
Because
yeah.
so weird.
But
But yeah, these guys train like crazy. They got gas tanks. Of course, they show, Manny at Manny was training at Big Bear at the time, right?
yep.
Um, but when you see some of these guys train, who live near mountains or close to high altitude. It's pretty
Yeah,
incredible.
it's
I know,
pretty incredible.
like Crawford, I believe Terrence Crawford, they go to Colorado to train at a high altitude.
Well,
They,
B, there's something to be said because you were a runner,
yeah,
and track and field was something you did. And it's interesting because while I'm talking about this guy being flabby, he might have the greatest endurance currently of any
yeah. I
champion.
mean, a lot. Sometimes those guys, like, have you ever seen when they show the white collar guys running a marathon, and the guys don't look like they're in good shape, but they were able to
They
train
don't
them
just not look like shape, they look like they might tap.
right?
They
And then,
look like
but
that.
then, but then, oftentimes there is a group of guys that run those marathons that become good, from a novice perspective,
Yeah, of course, of course.
uh, uh, in running these marathons, and they're not built or whatever, but they've trained their body to be able to endure a long, arduous journey, so to speak. And that's what a boxing match is, not a sprint. Sprinters are built different. It's fast twitch as opposed to
Yeah,
slow twitch. Boxers, the besides heavyweight, of course, but the ideal build used to be compared to a dancer's body.
correct.
Um, Sugar Ray Robinson being the best example. If you
Correct.
ever look at footage of Ray Robinson, he didn't look like his body didn't look like much.
No,
He was kind of
no,
just a
no.
slim guy. He wasn't
Yeah,
really all.
they say a dancer. Some other people in the sport will say a swimmer's body, which you guys, if you think
Yeah,
of like a Michael Phelps-esque guy who he was
yeah.
a little bit ripped up, but
Well,
that
now
I
though,
think,
yeah, now those swimmers are fucking.
yeah, and
They're
I think a
all
lot of them are on gas too, right? So
well,
it's like
you know,
I'm not saying names. I just mean in general,
allegedly. Yeah,
allegedly.
dude. Anything
But they
where you
used to
take,
say it, a
yeah,
swimmer's
where
body.
you take a human
Yeah,
and as you would say, pit him
yeah,
against another human, right?
right.
And there's a different kind of fuel you can put in your, if there's rocket fuel you can put in a
Yeah, in your
car,
gas tank. Yeah,
in your gas tank, these guys are going to try and use it. And you see the reflection in what they look like. It's pretty wild if you follow any sort of sport like that.
I remember like at his height of fame, some girls would be like, Michael Phelps is hot. And I'm like, see, this is how I know nobody cares about looks if someone's got Scarro, because he looks like the missing link on the evolutionary
I
chain.
say his mom fucked a dolphin, and,
Yeah,
and that's what they got. He couldn't.
fair. Or
He
he's a missing link.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Did you ever? When we covered we covered the Olympics ad nauseum
yeah,
when I worked at NBC.
of course.
And
Round the
again,
clock.
not to get too off topic, but they did a body type breakdown of him, and he's literally what ideally you want in a swimmer. So he has short legs, a long
Uh-huh.
torso, big feet, like an
Uh-huh.
actual like fin.
Yeah, yeah, like a
It-
fin. I didn't
it-
know he had short legs. I
yeah,
assumed
so
he,
it's like it's short legs, giant torso. So like that's what you want. That apparently makes for like less drag
yeah,
in like in the back and a better lung capacity. He
right.
was also eating something like when he did that 2008 Olympic run where he won like every medal. He
Yeah,
had him like in
yeah,
every event.
yeah.
He was eating like I don't know something like 20 to 30,000 calories a day the way he was training. And whenever they start to do that,
Yeah, that's like something like Brock Lesnar. You
I
know what I
I
mean?
take that as they're distracting from what's really
What's
going
really
on.
going on?
And it's sort of what you were saying,
Yeah.
like they're feeding him something else.
Well,
And maybe
Brock Lesnar's my age, and still, guys, if you haven't seen him in a while, he's as or in better shape at 47 than he was at 37 than he was at 27. So,
PRT, bro.
you know.
Testosterone replacement therapy. That's why all those guys look like thumbs.
No, again, I that's not being wacky because Brock is in a sport that isn't real. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I can say things like that. You know what I mean?
He still wrestles?
Well, he got wrapped
Or does
up
he just do
in
run-ins?
well, that Vince case that did go
I,
on / is going on.
yeah, he's like,
Brock was part of the texts, those really foul, gross things he was saying to that girl, what were basically about Brock. So he didn't get fired per se. They were like, "You should go away," and you know what I mean. But in this,
he's on R. Kelly Island right now.
Yes, minus the jail. But it's my opinion that he'll be back. We could get Bill Yuns in real quick. His opinion if Rock will ever come back. I'll bet he says yes. Bill Yuns,
Yeah, he'll be back.
yeah. But like you said, Brendan, he does like run-ins.
Yeah, okay.
He'll come in a month before Mania, stomp someone out, forgets it's fake, really stomps them out, do Mania, get a couple mil, and be gone for
He
18
works
months.
real stiff, right?
Oh, bro, it's either like the lack of intellect and he doesn't know that it's a work,
Or he
or
just
he's
likes
just
to hurt
choosing
people.
to, right. Yeah, that's what people have said. People have
Well,
been
that
like, no,
was when you put me on the Conrad and Tony.
yeah.
That was what they said about the Steiners. They were like, no, they knew what they were doing. They
No,
just,
they're just bullies. They cracked up. They
yeah,
would they would tape people up and like physically torture them. Like not in a ha ha, like poking them to tickle
yeah.
them way, like torture them.
No, the whole Sharpie story
Yes. Up the
is,
air. You know that Steiner put a Sharpie up someone's ass, Billy?
I didn't know that, but
Yeah.
well,
Billy
the
would do that with
well,
a
what
taped up person.
remember what they did? They would take multiple Sharpies and duct tape the Sharpies together and
Yes.
then sodomize someone with that. And
Yeah.
Conrad made a T-shirt of duct tape Sharpies,
Yeah.
and he got they sued him for it.
Yeah. And then they were like, all
it's
right.
all in good
Then
fun.
then Scott was like, all right, keep it up. I just want my 50%.
Yeah, yeah, just keep selling them,
Because he
right?
was running a Shoney's in Georgia. Do you guys know what Shoney's
Yes.
is? And they made like some sort of Shoney's shirt about Steiner, and he got all mad. It was the Shoney's logo, but it said Steiner,
Yeah,
and it was
yeah.
all
He owned it. It went out of business. His
yeah.
Shoney's. I didn't
Same
even know
thing.
there
Same
was.
thing. You guys remember Barbarian?
Mhm.
Barb. He like told Tommy Young, the referee,
Yeah.
that he was going to sodomize him,
Yeah.
and they made Tommy Young shirts. And he called Tony. I've heard, I'm not on that their internet, but I've heard you made shirts about Barb sodomizing me. And Tony's like, yes, Tommy, that's true. I'd lock them down or I'd like my 50%. And they were like, no problem, no problem.
Yeah.
Conrad will handle it. You'll
Did
get your
they give him?
50.
They
Yeah,
gave him the.
they paid him off. So he's okay with getting banged by Barb. Just I want my money.
Yeah, it's
Because Barb's part of that original Pacific Islander crew. Wild Samoans, Alpha,
yeah,
Sika, Ming, Haku. That was his crew. And then dudes will kill you with their bare hands, bro. I don't put civilians against real fighters, Brandon. We always use the word
yeah.
civilians. When we say, oh, fuck that guy up, I would never say that about a fighter. You know what I mean?
Right,
I
right.
put Haku against anyone. I don't think
Okay.
I don't think a human could beat a prime Haku. I think it would
A
have to be an
human.
animal. Bobby Heenan, they got into some shit at a bar, and Bobby saw him rip a guy's bottom teeth out of his face.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and then he poked a cop's eyeball out.
I saw Billy do that at the Irish pub in Atlantic City.
Yeah, Billy did that to someone I know.
Poke
No,
their
that
eye,
was just
Yeah.
the ping pong ball.
Mm-hmm,
It wasn't
mm-hmm,
anyone's eye.
mm-hmm.
doing the ping pong trick.
Saturday, our guys at Pro Box, big up Paulie Malignaggi, Chris Algieri, and Jimmy Smith. 3 guys doing an amazing job. Best team in the world. Silver Spurs Arena. Am I saying this right, B? Kissimmee, Florida?
Kissimmee.
Kissimmee, Florida. I think it's near Orlando. I think that's the
Yes,
closest big city.
it's where you stay if you go to Disney and
Got you. And you can't afford
you can't
Disney.
afford Disney. You
I
you
had a
rent you rent a
feeling.
car and drive in.
I had a feeling. I want to talk about Erikson Lubin, something private about him on air, though, when we get to his fight. But to start off, a kid named Darrell, it's Val Saint, but he's Haitian, and the French pronunciation would be Valsan. So
Mhm.
his name's Darrell Valsan, 12-0 with 10 KOs. Was on the Haitian Olympic team, even though he doesn't have an accent. So I guess via his mom or
Yeah,
parents,
if your
he was,
parents you can be a citizen of Haiti, and
yeah,
Florida's got mad Haitians.
mad Haitians, mad Haitians.
If your folks are citizens.
Right. So I always got
I
my,
believe Ireland's the same way. Like
it
even
is,
it's your grandparents.
it is. I'm always, for Pazzi prospects, I'm always checking out these kids once they get around here, around this point in their career. Fought a guy named Rodolfo Orozco, 33-4. 33, 4-3, 25 KOs. He went 10 rounds with Conor Ben in 2023, B, in one of those fights where we thought he looked flat.
Mhm.
Conor Ben meeting. Never been stopped in those 40 fights. 154 pounds. Like I said, Valsan was a Haitian Olympian fighting out of Orlando. Feints well, good jab, good feet, counters well. I said I was going to bring this up later. Switch hitter B does it as well as the guys we talked about. I'm not
Okay.
comparing him to Hagler and Bud, but I mean, he does it as seamlessly. And you
Yeah.
don't go, what the fuck is this guy doing? Now he's getting clipped when he switches. When he switches, there's a reason, and he's landing shit when he does. He sees something and intellectualizes it. So look, Orozco's a 40 fight veteran, good chin. He can fight. He tried to make it rough in there, B, make it awkward in there. Valsan didn't get rattled, which in and of itself impresses me when a young guy doesn't go, what the fuck am I gonna do now? This
Mhm.
guy's tough as nails and not letting me do what I trained for. And now I'm rattled. And it's easy to do that to, you know what I mean, to a kid. Very easy. And he did it. He just kept working. At the end of the ninth round, Valsan landed brutal hook to the body on the stool in between rounds. B, he was wincing, Orozco. Still hurt from the shot as he's talking to his trainer. I can't remember when I saw that before. I'm going, this guy's ribs broken.
Yeah, yeah.
I've never seen it's now minutes since he actually went to the corner, B, put his arm on the rope to get air rather than sit. Then finally sit, and while he's getting instructions, his face wincing, clearly wincing. He said something to his trainer, B. His trainer whispered something back to him, and then the trainer waves it off. My guess is that Valsan broke Orozco's rib with that body shot. This kid is knocking on the Pazzi prospect door. I want to see him again. Want to see him again soon.
Mhm.
Paul and Chris were very impressed with him.
Mhm.
This guy wanted to make it rough, so you didn't really see him get off shots because of that. That's when you fight that style of I'm going to clinch every time you get off,
Yeah, yeah.
it's tough to really. I think this kid did a really good job for fighting that style. Niklaus Flas, who beat your guy from the island, um, we both like him. Um,
Oh.
Jahai Tucker.
Yeah. Mhm.
He's on a run, this Niklaus Flas. He had the one loss. So he fought a kid named Alan Sanchez, packed him up in the fourth round. That's 6 wins in a row, B, against
Yeah,
solid comp.
he beat Brian Ceballos too.
Yeah, there's 6 in a row against solid guys. I'm
Yeah,
willing
he's
to
good.
bet, B, that Niklaus Flas gets a name guy in his next fight on a bigger card or is a main event on a pro box card before the end of the summer. I'm willing to bet one of the two. He's on like
Mhm.
an undercard of a pay-per-view, or
Yeah,
a
yeah.
bigger fight, or gets a main event.
He's 29. Fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
His hair is crazy. He also
Mhm.
in between the last 2 fights, it can now have a full conversation in English. It's not great, but he knows that if he wants to get over, he's did the whole interview in English, and I never heard him speak English before. He's from the island.
Yeah, he's from Puerto Rico. Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys are wondering, because that's not a Puerto Rican sounding name.
No.
The main event, Erikson Lubin, 26-2, 18 knockouts versus Adriel Holmes, 17-06 knockouts. IBF title eliminator. I picked Erikson Lubin as that is my guy who I have a soft spot for. I believe Brendan picked Adriel Holmes. I can't be sure.
No. I think I might have said it could be an upset special here, but I don't think I was serious.
B,
Um,
first and foremost, can I just say something? Before
mhm.
we break down the fight, I just want to say how happy I am that Erikson Lubin got rid of Kevin Cunningham.
Yeah.
He's not a good trainer and he's not a good person. And the fact that he used to be a cop is scary, but not surprising in the United
It
States.
is sort of frightening to me too.
Sure, but if you guys are familiar
Like
with
no self-control, that guy.
yeah, the behavior of Kevin Cunningham, guys, that guy used to be a cop in St. Louis. That I never
He's a
liked.
real hothead.
He's a real piece of garbage, as Beetlejuice would say. He's a piece of garbage,
A piece of
third.
garbage.
Um, okay. Look, Adriel Holmes is 6'3" southpaw, looks every bit of it. That Tommy Hearn, Sebastian Fundora body type. The thing is with them, Brendan, they like to mix it up. So you didn't have to find them, even though they
Yeah.
work that style. Ardrell Holmes is only looking to jab and move. Lubin should have been throwing his own jab to get inside of that, but wasn't. He started using it eventually and putting shots together in the middle rounds and landing a bit. Holmes was okay with stinking it out, be very reminiscent of this William Skull that
Yeah.
we want out of here.
I don't need to see Ardrell Holmes. That record seemed a
it's in
little
here.
inflated. Yeah.
It's in here. I stole your line from you without knowing it. Lubin let his shit go in the 11th. Hurt Holmes badly and dropped him. Beat the count, was in bad shape. Lubin smelled blood, let his hands go, forced the ref to jump in and stop it. I never want to see Ardrell Holmes ever again. Pack him up along with William School. You know Erikson Lubin is my guy, so I'm very happy for him, and I'm happy he's going to get another big fight, which he is, regardless of what that is. I've been championing him since he was 17, 18 years old, so I'm happy everything seems to be clicking now. The IBF champion, unfortunately, is Bakram Murtazayev, who packed up Tim Tszyu, so that's a dangerous guy and a dangerous fight.
Certainly.
If that gets made. Look, Lubinson's, the knock on him is that that everything is there. Everything is there, but in 2 fights he was chinny. B and I thought that was that Jesus Ramos fight that we were like, he didn't really win that.
No, he didn't win. That was on the Canelo Charlo undercard.
What's his name? Who's running the Pro Box enterprise now, B? You always bring his name up.
Gary Jonas?
He was being interviewed because he used to manage Lubin pre-show.
Gary Jonas did?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And he explained how Lubin wanted that Charlo fight before Gary did. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. That was a whole, I've heard that numerous times. That
yes. But I don't know if
no one thought he was ready. And
I don't know if people knew that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was so high on Lubin, I thought he was ready too. Prove me wrong. But Gary Jonas was not being shy about, I don't think Erikson was taking training seriously. I didn't like his camps. He was partying. I don't know what he was doing against Fundora. I don't know what he was doing in this fight. While everyone was celebrating the Ramos fight, this is Lubin talking now. He's going, there was one person not smiling, Gary Jonas.
Okay.
And they all said, why? And he said, yeah, we got lucky.
Right. Okay.
The personal thing that I want to talk about Erikson Lubin, his whole twist is being from Florida. This kid talks like he's from one of the boroughs. So someone's got to know something that we don't.
From Orlando, yeah.
There's no way.
But like Tarver doesn't really sound like he's from.
No, but all right, that's fair. But this kid sounds like he's from the fucking South Bronx. All right, I don't think Tarver sounds like he's from Florida, but he doesn't, like, Tarver doesn't sound like Roy. Roy sounds like
Roy's from Pensacola.
Yeah, but those dudes talk like they're from the backwoods of the South. Erikson Lubin talks like a 90s rapper from the Brooklyn, from East New York or the South Bronx.
What was that?
So someone's gonna tell me that, oh yeah, he spent 15 years in New York, then they moved. I will bet money on it. And it's for whatever reason, not he just looks at Florida as his home and doesn't discuss it. There's no way you talk like him, hand movements like him. You cannot be more New York. And he's too young to be someone who emulated New York. You know what I mean? Like everyone did from our era. You know, I certainly did when I was little. You know, and people think that's where I'm from, but I'm not. But I don't believe that he was born and raised there. It's impossible.
Haitian parents.
So the Florida part makes sense.
In Orlando, Florida.
Okay.
Where he grew up idolizing De La Hoya and other boxers.
Look, if you're Haitian and you're in Florida, you got Haitian relatives in New York or Philly. So maybe he spent summers up here. Something is like that. I'm just fucking telling you.
Right.
I'm right.
What was the name of that rap? It was a rap group from Orlando that was on like BET all the time. It was a duo. They had some real bad. Well, maybe it was good for some people. I don't.
Was it like a black kid and an Asian kid? Do you remember that?
That's the one.
Oh, God.
That's the one.
Oh, what a nightmare! What a nightmare!
I'm trying to be nice.
They burned it all the time on BET.
They love that fucking.
Someone had that. You want to talk about payola because it goes on and off.
How did that?
It was on an indie, and someone had Scott Hall. So someone was probably Someone was probably hustling, needed a legal way to run it through, a la Easy E and Ruthless and Jerry Heller, and said, all right, I'll put 250K to make this record. And they're like, well, no one's playing it. They're like, here's another 250K to
I'm
play it.
Googling Orlando rap group.
I had no idea they were from Orlando.
It's the first thing that came up.
I just fucking know the way your brain works. So I knew who it was.
Smiles and South Star.
That's them. That's them.
Yo, if anybody.
And like the worst early 2000 rap outfits ever. Literally dressed like Ali G. Literally.
100%.
Before he mocked it, that's what he might have took that video and given that to his costume designer. Been like, dress me like these two. An Asian dude and a black dude.
Yeah, I gotta be careful what I say because I don't want to get you in trouble with people you may know.
Right.
Yeah. So I butt my lip when we talk, but
it's why when you and I start doing our hip hop podcast, we're just gonna get fucking canceled from the world, not just rap. We're just gonna go, I fucking hate that guy.
This was.
And you go, no. He lives in the island. I see him.
This was when 106 in Park just crashed. Like I was like, I can't watch this anymore.
When Free was on it, the hot black John with the wagon.
Yeah,
she was a gun while live.
She was bad. She's from Boston, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's from
Beantown too. Remember?
But what I was gonna say was these dudes. Yeah, like they wore like the motorcycle jackets. Remember when that was hot for a minute?
Man. Unfortunately, like it would be like an Eminem's motorcycle.
I was just gonna say it was
aura.
You know, like when they do a TV show and there's a rapper that they're gonna have on the TV show, so they wear like the velour, the baggy velour Sean John joint.
Sure, it's like Biggie's outfit on the Martin episode or something.
Yeah, that's how these dudes dressed.
Yes,
like, for everything, and it was like, oh my god, the headbands, like the Nelly headband,
horror
show.
It was just as bad. It was like the same concept, but 6 years later. From remember Quo.
Yeah.
The black kid and the white kid. Do you know who that white kid is? He's the one in the Finding Neverland thing that says Mike molested him.
Really?
Yes, but grown.
Oofa.
He's the little white kid with the dyed blonde hair. Then he went from that to being a dance coordinator. And then when that got debunked.
I know who that is. Yeah.
When that got debunked, because they're both lying and there's proof, or else I wouldn't say that on the air. You know what I mean? Because that's libel.
It's Wade Robeson. He had a TV show.
Wade Robeson. He's the kid from Quo. And then, so it was the little white boy with the dyed blonde hair like Eminem, and then the little black kid. And they were like, it was on the trail of, it was like the youngsters.
That's who I was thinking you were talking about before, was the youngsters and ABC.
Youngsters, crisscross, ABC, another bad creation. The youngster, but
the youngsters were dope though.
The youngsters and Illegal were both dope and both dissing everyone. Like now we're not on a little kid. We are little kids, but like you can't diss the youngsters. Their father and uncle is LG. LG, the teacher. He did the Hilltop Hustlers. He produced for Cool Seed, Steady B. Like I don't think people knew that, but the youngsters were stamped, certified.
The youngsters. That's what I thought you were talking about before when I said the rap group.
Right.
I thought you were talking about the youngsters.
No, never. That's my guys too. I know. Musa grew up with them.
But like that's dope.
But it
was Shaheem the Rugged Child, like all that era.
Yeah.
And then Shaheem, like they put him in the TLC video, and then they put him in a movie.
Yeah,
and
they put him in, what's it called, like OG Original Gangsters or something?
Yeah, with Ice-T. It was all like the blaxploitation guys from the 70s. They made like a movie in like 95.
And then the younger rappers, like Kane was in it, I think. Big Daddy Kane was in it, Shaheem. Yeah. But Sha was dope. You know what I mean? Like he's dope now.
Yeah.
Like a lot of those people, like Taji, I just saw Taji rhyming over a Drake beat and he went nuts, killing it. Taji from the Youngsters.
Recently.
Like real recently. He's still active.
What happened to Another Bad Creation? I'll tell you this. If you were into like the Game Gear, like their gear when I was in sixth grade,
smash, bro.
When I was in sixth grade, what was this? Aisha, you were the girl that I never had. Yeah, it was that, and at the playground,
get to know you.
They had the dopest. They had the dopest. Like when I was a little kid.
Yeah, I was in 8th grade. You were in 6th.
Like those kid outfits that they had.
Because Michael Bivins was on a run. It leaked from your 6th grade into your 7th and 8th. It leaked from my 8th.
It was Boys to Men. He's responsible for them.
BBD, and then they signed those 4 white boys, and then the album never came out. It was supposed to be like a white Boys
It
to
was
Men.
it was in that video. It was
They
in the
introduced them. It said
right.
introducing, and
Boys
then
to Men, ABC, BBD,
BBD,
the
the
East
They
Coast.
were called the
Yeah.
East Coast Family.
Hmm.
Yeah. So those dudes like disappeared.
Whatever.
Illegal. Jamal's from Philly, and he
Hmm.
went on to do an LP with Def Squad.
Hmm.
Remember
Yeah.
the Pete Rock remix blew
Yep.
up, and
Hmm.
then Malik was on Doggy Style.
Okay. Yep.
You know what I mean? So they kept
Yeah.
it
He
going,
murdered it on that.
murdered it. The youngsters kept going for a while. Um, Taji had a barbershop. I think he still does. Those guys, like, were smart with their money.
Yeah.
But my man, my Muslim brother from Germany is like helping them work on the new youngsters record, and like the
Really.
stuff sounds really good. So the only reason I'm going down this rabbit hole is because we're talking about all those kid groups and like what happened to them. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
who's still. So you might think, oh, what happened? The only ones that really completely disappeared were the ones that seemed most created. And that is Crisscross, the one passed away
He
sadly
died.
from a
Yeah.
drug overdose,
Hmm.
and ABC, who were clearly put together by Mike Dill.
Clearly.
You know what I mean?
Like
But
not.
like,
Yeah. And not. It was. There was no secret about
no,
it.
no secret. Same with
I.
Quo. Like
Yeah.
they were signed to Michael Jackson's label when Mike was Mike. They're just Sony's giving him as much money as he wants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Remember Redman did one of the beats for Quo?
Hmm.
He did like a couple beats. He probably got a bag for that. He rapped on one of them. He probably got a bag for that.
It
I
was.
bet you
He
total,
was on that song. Pump Pump. That was.
yes.
Yeah. That was.
It
Yeah.
was like the remix of Pump Pump.
Yeah.
Brendan, I bet you in that time, with the way the industry was working in that era, Reggie got like 150K for like 3 beats in a verse. I
Yeah. Yeah.
bet you. I bet you he
Wow.
came up. Um, all right. Sunday morning, Oda City General Gymnasium in Tokyo. Please tell me, Brendan Long, why I could not find this fight anywhere. I had
Pumita and
Pumita.
Kaz Ioka.
Pumita Martinez, Kaz Ioka 2 after what?
5 different text messages I got from boxing friends saying, "Where is this?"
So you didn't hear from me because I go, I'm gonna go to sleep now, wake up and watch it on ESPN Plus. B won't tell me because he knows. I wake up, don't see a text from you, go on there, not there. I go, maybe I fucked up and it's from the zone, even though I know it's not the zone. Go on
Yeah.
there, not there. Maybe it was on Amazon Prime and I fucked up. It's nowhere. I find the Chinese call on a shitty, even though it was brand new. I was old. Hours, literal hours. Said 13 hours ago, and watched it on a bad YouTube rip in
Really?
Chinese.
That's
Look,
dedication.
fight number one, man. I don't know what our fight of the year 2024 was, but if it wasn't Pumita Kaz won,
It
we
should have
fucked
been.
up. We fucked up because I watched it
You
again.
watched it again? Okay.
Because it led me to that. It went into that because I said,
Uh-huh.
this is two was good. It's a really good fight. Really good. Were you able to watch it, B? Or you just got
No.
frustrated? Okay. And B, you'll piece shit together on Twitter. It wasn't even on there. They showed it the knockdown. So in the 10th, Pumita, he throws a counter left. Kaz Ioka. This guy's 36 years old. This is
Yeah, he's old.
24 rounds of Ward Gotti shit, guys. Look these fights up. Pumita Martinez, Kaz Ioka. He's 36. B, he has that fucking Navarrete tank, and so does Pumita. All they're doing is throwing punches. They're they're good defensively, but kind of don't give a fuck. If that makes
Yep.
any sense, I could defend if I wanted to, but I choose to do this. Stand on the inside and mix, but then they'll do subtle shit and slip 3 punches, and you go, see, you
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
do it if you want to do it. You like this. Like when you hear someone go, no, I like that kind of fight, like the monster says all the time. No, I want the fight. Yeah, I got knocked down, but I like that kind of fight. Give me
Right.
more of those. I like that kind of fight. Combination punching, vicious body shots, B. They're just, it's like me and you out at the fights being goofballs and go, all right, don't hit me in the head. So we just
Yeah,
go to,
yeah.
I mean,
Go,
vicious. You know, when you do that, you know, look, back and forth action. I honestly don't know how these guys did this for 24 rounds. Ioka dropped Pumita with a beautiful counter left hook in the 10th. Pumita steadies himself, fights well in the 11th and 12th. I personally had it 114, 113, Pumita Martinez in a
Hmm.
razor thin fight and the best fight of the weekend. Judges' cards were 115, 112, 114, 113, and 117, 110 for Fernando Pumita Martinez. Robert Oil had the 117, 110 card. Pack him
In
up,
Japan.
big, in Japan.
Where is he from?
I don't know, but he does bad things all the time. Pack him
Okay.
up, B, with this
Let me look
Williams
that up.
School and this Ardriel. That's an egregious card. That's basically 10 rounds to 2 with the knockout, with knockdown. Anyone who had this a draw, I'm okay with you if you had a draw. If you added a draw, and then the point for Kaz Ioka, which a lot of people did, Brendan.
He's
A,
from Vegas.
a lot of people are saying that, unlike us, Brendan, they overcompensate in Japan. We
Oh,
don't want to look like that. Is the thread I'm seeing when I'm looking this up and going, yo, dude, does anyone think that 117 was crazy? And it was a lot of could have gone either way.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of
Mhm.
people going, Kaz Ioka, I don't know where he goes from here. He could have won both of these fights realistically. It's
Right.
very similar to the scorecards in Better BF Bivol, where you have 24 rounds and you go, yo, 20 of these 24 could have gone either way.
Yeah.
You know? Um, so I bro, we're sickos. I run it back a third time, but I don't know if there's a bag over there.
I would love to see that.
I don't know if
And
these
put it on
guys are
regular
getting the
fucking
bag.
TV. Put everything else on fucking TV for us.
Are these guys getting a bag? If they are,
I don't know.
you and I are watching these cards, except this one. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
We're seeing that they're sold out. You know, they're the crowd over there, tranquilo. So you don't feel the energy that you feel here.
Right, right.
But sometimes they're more packed than our Johns.
Yeah.
The Inoue
Yeah.
joints are sold out. These smaller, these fights are big over there and they're selling out.
Mhm.
There's big money in Japan. The population is huge. If they're getting paid well, but I don't see how you can't run this back. But at 36, does Kaz Ioka want? I don't know, Brendan. I don't know that. I don't know anything about this
Well, I
because
mean, we don't get to see a like an interview after, when it's like this. You don't get to hear anything.
I
I
got
guess,
nothing, B. I got
I
nothing
guess we'll
because
check. We'll check with, press. So it was last July, and now they fought again in May. I mean, he lost two close UDs. Uh,
I mean, if you're Pumita, B, you're probably like, this fucking guy again,
I
unless
don't,
the
I
bag
don't,
is
yeah,
crazy.
I'm gonna say he probably doesn't run it back, at least not immediately.
He tries to get another belt because that's the other thing. All right, so did they strip him, no puff, in the meantime? Because he had two belts the first time around.
So this wasn't even for a belt.
That's what I mean. As far as
The
what I want,
IBF stripped him.
it was he had the WBA and IBF the first fight. So did two organizations strip him because he didn't fight the mandatories and fought Ioka? If they did and he chose to do that, he's a gun. He's like Barrera, Marco Antonio Barrera. He's a gun, and I salute him.
Okay, so I'm reading right now. Fernando Martinez vacates the IBF super featherweight title. IBF sent out a press
Well,
release confirming.
absolutely 100% their first fight was for two belts.
Okay.
So we have to figure out what happened to the other one.
Oh, this was supposed to be a New Year's Eve rematch.
Now I remember.
Okay.
Now I remember.
The belt was relinquished. He wasn't stripped.
Was was relinquished. He wasn't stripped. Was this at a catch weight? Something had to go on. Either a catch weight. They both moved up and neither had a belt. You know what I'm saying?
Just vacated it.
Something had to happen. So my guess is your guess. B Pumita's like this guy. This guy is a goon. We fought 24 hard rounds and I don't have any belts. So give me a championship fight against someone there. Who's floating
Yeah.
around there at their division? B because Pumita is really good.
Yeah. He's
He's
old.
really good.
But he's old now too, right? He's 33.
old for that weight. What are they, 115?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, you're killing yourself to make 115. Going to 118, it's fucking huge
Bam.
down there.
Bam. Bam's at that weight.
Bam's got to fight.
Chocolatito.
If I'm Pumita, I'm calling out for
Gallo
those fights.
Estrada.
I'm calling out all those guys, B.
Yeah.
All those guys, because all of them have fought here and are known here as far as boxing people are concerned. I don't mean names, but you could fight in the US and make that a main event in Arizona or Cali or
Sure.
Vegas or in a smaller room in Vegas or, San Antonio. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or a co-main or another big fight. But Pumita Martinez against any of them. Bam has a fight, what, next month or 2 months from now? Does he want to
July.
does he want to wait till the fall?
July 19th.
I mean, Bam
For
Pumita,
Malela Cafu.
you're talking about, and he's really good.
Uh-huh.
You could, I can't imagine Pumita Bam. I mean, that's one for the ages.
Yeah,
as
that would
long
be a
as it
great one.
lasts. But,
We can only hope.
we can only hope. All right, guys.
All right, that wraps up this episode.
Yeah, it's 132.
You can find me at the Killer Bee 24 on Twitter, at I_know_that_kid on IG. Write us at kotbboxing@gmail.com. Find us at kotbboxing on IG, KOTB podcast on YouTube. And remember, guys, you got to rate the show, like the show, and write us letters.
Yeah.
We'll read them.
Yeah, because one benefit of doing 2 shows a week now is we'll have more time to
more time for
to
you
do
guys.
reader mail. So write in anything, anything that comes across your mind while you're in the car on the way to work or at work, just write it down. Send it to us on your phone. Because we have way more time now that we're doing it this way.
Yes, sir.
For reader mail.
Where do they get you, Vin?
Listen to mail. At BoxCutterPazzi on Instagram. On Twitter at Vinny_Paz. My new record is out. It's called God Sent Vengeance. The new single and video is Head of David. Everything is streaming on all your streaming platforms. That's where most of you maniacs get your music now. Go run that up. If you're a physical product person like myself, you like vinyl, CDs, tapes, all of that, go to jmtstore.com for that, other merch. We have 2 huge merch drops coming this year. Both products we have never made before in the whole history of my career. And they're both dropping soon. The Trump tariffs had us fucked up a little bit. Someone stepped in, cleaned that up real quick. So before it gets fucked up again, we're trying to get our shit here.
Get your shit out.
And it's looking like we're pulling it off. No pun.
And make sure you get in there and buy a tape, buy a record, and buy a CD. All right.
Cop a KEOTB shirt too, and let motherfuckers know you're listening to the best podcast in the world. jmtstore.com. Thank you for all the kind words about the record. I appreciate y'all. And Billy, say goodnight, Billy.
Good night, Billy.